Hey, welcome to Geeky Faucets. I'm Amy Dale.
And I'm Christine Lucas-Savage.
This is episode 61.
I wish my name was short like yours. Because I'm like, I'm Christine, and you're like, I'm Amy Dale.
Yeah, my
Christine
last name used to be
Lucas-Savage.
Gadberry.
I was a Kaminsky, bad to worse.
Dale.
Whatever.
I always feel like my
Anyway.
name sounds like a country singer, though.
Yes, but it sounds awesome.
Welcome, Amy Dale.
I really, really like it.
Thanks.
I think my last name should have been Christine Kelly. Is that something we
Christine
start-
Kelly. Oh, it kind of reminds me of You've Got Mail. Kathleen Kelly. Isn't that
never
her
saw
name
it.
on that? Oh, really? It's so good. It's a romantic comedy I like.
But back then, when that one came out, I didn't like romantic comedies.
You should watch it. I have it.
I didn't like romantic comedies till after I was married.
Oh, man. It's so good. It's one of my favorites. And she owns a bookstore.
Well, kindred
Dream
spirits.
job, yeah. Okay, so today we're not talking about You Got Mail. We're talking about Tim Burton,
Which is the opposite of You've Got Mail.
not the same.
No.
Yeah, so we're talking about Tim Burton, and I don't know how you feel about Tim Burton.
I loved his Willy Wonka. I loved his Willy Wonka so much. And I love his use of Johnny Depp also.
Yeah, he does use Johnny
He
Depp.
uses Johnny Depp, but I think that they just match. Like every part he's ever written, I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's been a
For-
really good fit.
But yeah, his art is always been intriguing to me. Like I want to get into his head and see what he sees. My husband and I were just talking about this. We were driving on the way to Breckenridge, and I was like, we were talking about his mind versus my mind, and we think completely differently. Like I was looking at this hill as we were driving because it's the most flattest, awful place that you'd ever want to live in your whole entire life. The place we were driving through, and there was a hill, and so
I was like, Breckenridge is kind
no,
of nice.
no, it's that long flat valley where all the
yeah.
animals are.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, why are you there, animals? The wind is gonna blow you over.
I
Anyway, it doesn't
know.
matter. So I was looking out over this mountain, and I just started looking at it, and like this whole battle scene was playing through my head. Like I saw these guys coming up this side, and these guys coming up this side, and I'm pretty sure they were orcs, which is weird. Maybe it's because it's The Hobbit, and freaking orcs are everywhere, and they were always battling. I don't know. See what it's done to me. Anyway,
Long battle scenes are happening in your head?
I know, but I hate watching. I like making them up in my head, but I hate watching other people because I'm like, yes, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I'm sitting here watching, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot going on here. Like I have these whole like epic things going through my head, and my husband's like, no, I just like to drive and think. I'm like, that's so boring. Like I hate being the driver because I can't look around and see everything. Like I love to look and be like, oh, I wonder what's going on over here. I wonder what's going on here. Are there buffalo behind here? Wonder what they're doing behind that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, look. Anyway, so all that to say, I'd love to get into Tim Burton's head and see what he sees.
I know,
Because
right?
I was actually looking on Pinterest about him, and he has the Tim Burton drawing like version of the Avengers, and they just look cool. Like I don't know.
I know.
There's nothing you can't describe it. It's just his
It's
stuff is
completely
just
unique.
cool. It is. It's very. There's nothing like it. It's
I
very
like
very
that.
cool.
I like that about it. And he's not just a one talent guy, which there's nothing wrong with one talent people.
No.
But I mean, he's not just a writer or just an artist or just a director. He does kind of everything, including when I was reading about him, he also did, he was a puppeteer in the final scene in the Muppet movie. The original Muppet,
Really?
Rainbow Connection Muppet movie. Huh. Yeah, I was like,
So interesting.
my word. That's
I
so
love
great.
multi-talented people like that.
Yeah. So what I read about him is he was awarded a fellowship at Disney and went to work for them. Worked on things like Fox and the Hound and the Black Cauldron, which seems a little more
His
up
style.
alley.
Yes.
But the Fox and the Hound, I was like, really?
I wonder what he did on it, because there's no
But-
smattering of Tim Burton in there.
No, but you know what? He did have the freedom to work on his own projects while he was there.
Oh, that's really
Which
cool.
was really cool, I think, even though it didn't match up with what they were doing. And he did a 6-minute short called Vincent as sort of an ode to Vincent Price, who is kind of amazing. Do you know Vincent Price?
I know the name, and I feel like I should know who he is.
Have you seen Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, long ago. I didn't like it.
Anyway, in Thriller, remember the voice that's like the midnight
Yeah.
hour?
That's him?
Yeah, he's
Did he
like
play vampire or like Dracula in something? Wasn't he like some horror?
he was in tons of horror
Okay,
films.
that's why I know who he is. Okay, then yes, I do know
He's
who
in a
he
lot
is.
of horror films. And then he did Frankenweenie. So in
Okay, is that dog totally cute or what? Like, how could you make a Frankenstein dog look so adorable?
my favorite part of that movie is the girl with the cat.
I didn't see the
Oh,
movie.
because she says, Mr. Whiskers had a dream about you, and she has her cat poops in the letter of whoever. What? Had a dream about. Mr. Whiskers had a dream about you. It's so funny. I was like, this guy's a genius, really.
So weird.
I know.
He's kind of reminds me. His style kind of reminds me of Neil Gaiman a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And the way he looks too.
Oh Lord.
They kind of look alike.
It kind of scares me. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. I'm sure he's lovely.
He probably is.
But
and then, so here's the interesting thing. He did Frankenweenie, and Disney didn't release it because they thought it was a little bit
scary,
inappropriate for children, which I've shown it to my kids and they loved it.
Well,
but
your kids are on a different scale.
They're on a different scale to most humans.
Yes,
so,
this is true.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
No, they're just
not in a bad way.
Have weird
it's
taste.
Okay.
Paul Rubens, who, as you hopefully know, was Pee Wee Herman, somehow saw Frankenweenie and said, "This is the guy I want to direct my Pee Wee movie." And
Which is
so,
funny because you wouldn't think Pee Wee Herman and Tim Burton would like be a good matchup.
but
Pee Wee
they
Herman
were.
Yeah, well,
Because Pee Wee's Big Adventure, hello! I love that movie a lot. I showed it to my kids.
I didn't care about it.
And they had a confused look on their face the first time. And then after thinking it through and talking about it, I think they really liked it. But it was just a shock factor because they didn't, of course, grow up with Pee Wee's Playhouse. So the Pee Wee was a completely new character to them, and they were like,
so weird.
what?
I never warmed up to Pee Wee Herman, I'll be honest.
Well, that was probably good discernment.
Right? That's true. I didn't think. I
mean,
have really good intuition.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and then he went on to do Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
It's a classic, and I showed that one to some of my kids the other day.
I love when they have the dinner scene. What's the song that they sing?
Oh,
shake,
yeah.
Shake, Senora. Is that the one?
Shake your body.
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah.
Yes.
That's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Mr. Tally,
Yes, the one. Yes.
Banana. That's the one, yeah.
That's the one.
And then my favorite scene in the whole movie is like a tiny, tiny blip, but it's hilarious to me, which is when they are in the waiting room for hell or whatever, and there's a guy in there that's in a recliner, and he's obviously died because he lit on fire because of smoking. And he has a cigarette, and he's like, "You want a cigarette?" And he says, "Trying to cut back myself." And I don't know why.
Late there, friend.
It's so funny, but it makes me laugh.
That's awesome.
And then he did Batman.
I could totally see his touch in. This is the original one with like the Penguin and Michael Keaton, and yeah, he definitely, because that one's dark.
Yeah, and bizarre.
Well, the Penguin character is absolutely.
Is he in the first one or is he in the second one?
No, he's the first one.
Okay,
He,
I don't remember.
he
It's
grossed me out so
It came out in
much.
'89, and I think that's when I saw it. So I don't remember.
I'm fairly sure
well.
because it was Danny DeVito who was the Penguin.
I do
and he
remember his
just-
character, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in one of them.
Yeah.
And then Edward Scissorhands, which came out in 1990, and that is a movie I love with all my heart. I love that movie so much, and I don't know why.
I need to watch it again because I watched it long, long ago, and
it's really super bizarre, and it has the whole like cliche 1950s neighborhood or 1960s probably neighborhoods with the, and the lady that finds him is the Avon lady because she's going up to try and sell Avon, and so she's given every other house in the block in the whole neighborhood a try, and so now she goes up to this mansion that's super creepy. And Johnny Depp is brilliant in that movie, and I love that movie. It's not a happy ending movie. Maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Maybe that's it because I hate sad endings.
Yeah, and it's not sad, but it's not super chipper either. And then Batman Returns came in '92, which was right along the same lines as Batman.
But I thought that one was a little. Was that the one with Val Kilmer, or George Clooney? That was George Clooney.
It wasn't Keaton again?
I don't think so. I thought he was only Batman once. Then it was George Clooney. Then it was Val Kilmer.
George Clooney, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I have no memory of this. I have no memory of this place, to quote Gandalf. Then Ed Wood in '94. I didn't see that one either, but I feel like I need to. It was kind of his tribute to the worst director ever, kind of as this guy is known as, which I think would be really interesting. And Johnny Depp's in it. He's a great actor, so that's always interesting.
See, I don't know.
He's weird?
Well, no, it's some of these movies are just kind of off in left field. I think I like his artwork more than his actual movies. Mm-hmm. Besides Willy Wonka, I really thoroughly enjoyed Willy Wonka, but I don't know. Like,
well, in Edward Scissorhands, he actually wrote the story, which I love so much.
Yeah. Sweeney Todd. Oh, yes, that was disturbing.
Oh, yes, that was disturbing.
Sorry.
Mars Attacks, which I think is hilarious and super bizarre again. Yeah. And then Sleepy Hollow I liked. Planet of the Apes. Okay, I loved this one.
I never saw it.
Well, you know, I watched the old Planet of the Apes with my dad, and I've come to realize something, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone. It's, you know, we're all entitled to our opinion.
I'm kidding.
I hate Charlton Heston.
Really?
Yes, his overacting kills me. It's like so overacted. It's intensely intense. Everything is, you know, like, so we're the greatest people! It's just so, everything is so, you know.
But that was like, that's how they did it back when he was a big actor. I mean,
It probably is that way. And so, for me, I loved the idea of Planet of the Apes. Because I loved sci-fi and I loved fantasy and weird stuff. And so I'd watch it with my dad. And I loved it. But then when I saw the new one, I was like, yes, that's what I was looking for. I really liked the new one. I thought it was...
I just don't like scary apes.
Well, he doesn't either. That is the funny thing, is that Tim Burton has a chimp phobia. And he did Planet of the Apes.
Maybe he was trying to get over his phobia.
I know. One of his quotes said, "Chimps, you don't know if they're coming towards you. You don't know if they're gonna kiss you or kill you." It's like,
it's kind of true.
It's really true.
Well, why would you make Why would you make that? Is that the one with what's his face, Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That looked scary. I don't want to watch that.
That's where he met Helena Bonham Carter, because she's also in that. Yeah.
Oh,
and
they make a great creepy couple.
They do.
You know?
You win the creepy couple of the year.
No, but I would like to be their friends, but I think I don't know. I wonder what their house looks like.
Oh, that's the other thing that was interesting, and I don't know if this is still the case, but I guess at one point when they had a son together, and they were not officially married, which I don't know if they are yet, or if they're just common law marriage kind of thing, but they had houses next to each other with a hall that connected them.
So they had their own houses.
I was like, I kind of need that, John. Should we do that?
You know what would be really funny is if one was like totally Tim Burton, like what you would imagine he would live in, like some weird creepy mansion, and the other one was like some cute little mountain cottage or like country English cottage.
Did you ever see Penelope? Oh, like Penelope's room. Oh,
but wouldn't that be hilarious? If he's like, I just can't live in this kind of house. This environment is not creative. It's not creepy enough.
It's not dark enough for me. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. But
funny.
When I watched the Planet of the Apes filming, they did ape school for all the actors. And so, like, if they had a scratch on their face over here, instead of, you know, itching it like this, they would do this. Like, they just learned how to
be an ape.
Move more ape-like.
That's very interesting.
Isn't it cool?
Huh.
And Paul Giamatti's in that. I love him so much.
do too.
Big Fish.
Never saw
Again, loved it. And Ewan McGregor's in it. Double bonus.
That's why you watched it.
Well, it's not the only reason I watched it.
It's okay. We accept you for who you are.
But he is lovely. That is true. But it is a really cool movie. And I'm thinking, I watched it again the other day because I was like, I wonder if my kids are old enough to watch this movie yet. And it's just so cool and fun, and about having a dad. This guy has a dad who tells tall tales, and it really annoys him, and he ends up. So then, of course, there is Sweeney Todd, which is a brilliant musical, and I loved it.
Also creepy and a lot of blood.
Super, super gory. Yeah, totally a lot of blood. Alice in Wonderland, which was, oh my word, so good. I love that one.
I didn't really like that a whole.
Love it.
I don't think I ever watched the whole entire thing. I don't know. That just seems like, a lot of times his movies seem like really, there's a lot that you have to get through to get to the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know when you start a movie and you watch it and you're like, and you've watched it multiple times, you're like, there's just parts that you have to get through that suck. Oh. No, dude.
Yeah, yes.
Anyways,
I know.
that's how I feel about a lot of his movies. I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff I don't want to have to sit through.
Yeah, I can understand that if you didn't dig his style totally, because that's like, I love watching all his stuff, I guess. Apparently I'm a big fan. And then Nightmare Before Christmas he wrote, and
still never saw that one.
It's an interesting one. I have a hard time with that one because I'm such a Christmas, I don't know, it's weird. It's a mixing of Halloween and Christmas, which is so weird to me.
It's weird.
So I think I like it, but I haven't watched it since a bazillion years ago, so I think I need to rewatch it and just to deliberate then. I really think of it. So, thanks for watching, and let us know.
What's your favorite Tim Burton movie? And if you have like really good Tim Burton art, share that with us because I love his art so much.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
We should go on Pinterest and look some up.
Totally.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.